Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a triangular granny square. These are great if you are making something perhaps like a top or something with a slightly funky shape. Maybe you want to work one of these in around the neckline or fill a gap that's a little bit awkward, or even if you just want to make something built out of triangles, it gives you the option of something a little bit different, a little bit funky, and they're actually super easy to make. So I'm going to be using 3 different colours today. You can use as many or as little as you wish. I'm also using this yarn which is fairly chunky. It's a cotton and acrylic blend, which I think works really nicely as a granny square because it feels quite sort of plush and chunky and cosy. But feel free to use whatever you've got handy. I'm using a 4.5mm hook with this yarn. And I think I'm going to start with my white in the centre. So I'm going to begin by making a magic circle. For those of you that don't know how to do that, I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to lay the yarn tail across 3 fingers with my palm face up. I'm going to use my thumb to hold on to that, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around the back of my fingers, and then I'm going to come across the yarn to make an X. I'm then going to use my thumb and my pinky finger to hold both pieces of yarn in place as I turn my hand over, and you'll see I've got 2 vertical lines. I'm going to pop my hook under the first one, grab the second, and twist the hook. I'm then going to take this diagonal piece up here with the hook, and I'm going to pull that through that twisted piece of yarn on the hook, the loop that we're making. And that is essentially how we make a magic circle. I will link a little video up here to a video that I've made previously where I break that down a little bit slower if that's helpful. But here's our magic circle, and we are going to start by chaining 3. So to do that, I'm going to catch the yarn and pull that yarn through the loop on our hook. We're going to do that again. We're going to catch the yarn, pull it through the loop on the hook, and one more time for our final chain. We are then going to do 3 double crochets into our magic circle. Now I'm using US terminology here. If you were using UK terminology, this would be a triple, but I'm going to be using US terminology throughout this video. To do a double crochet, we wrap the yarn around the hook, we pop our hook into the magic circle, catch the yarn, pull it through the circle only. This creates 3 loops on our hook. We then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over again and pull through the second 2 loops on the hook. We're going to do that again, so we're going to yarn over, pop our hook into the magic circle, catch the yarn, pull it through the circle only, and then we yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the second 2 loops. And that is a double crochet, so we're going to do 1 more of those, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to work back into our magic circle, and we're going to do 4 double crochets. So that's 4 double crochets. We can now pull on the tail of our magic circle to tighten everything up nicely. And then I like to tie off individually when I change colours. I like to make sure I've got a sturdy knot to work from, but please change colours however you normally would, but I'm going to be doing it in this method. So I'm going to snip a tail and pull that tail through the loop that we made by taking our hook out. So that is our first row. of our granny square, well, granny triangle at least. You can see it's starting to get a little bit of a point, but it's not exactly a triangle yet, but no matter. We are going to take our second colour, which I'm going to be using black. And I'm going to make a slip knot for the way I'm going to join my colours, making sure I leave a tail, as we are going to be doing lots of tying in, unfortunately, with this one. At the end, we're going to be dealing with lots of ends, but making sure we're working the right way up. We are going to start by working into these chains that we did at the beginning. So you can see we've got 1, 2, 3. You're going to pop your hook into that third chain, like so, and then take your slip knot, pop it onto the hook, and you're going to do 3 chains to begin. 1, 2, 3. And then we're working into this gap between our chains and our double crochets. So it should feel like there's an easy hole to sort of get your hook through there. So we're doing 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to be working into our chain space at the top here. So this is the point of our triangle, and we're going to be doing 3 double crochets in here. And then to make the point of our triangle, we chain 2, 1, 2, and then we do 3 more double crochets into this same hole. Great. So now to finish up, we are going to be working it again into the gap between our last double crochet of the row and the third to last. So this gap here, again, should feel fairly easy to be able to get your hook in and find. We're going to do 3 double crochets in there. And then our last double crochet we're going to do into the top of this last double crochet we did from the previous row. And that is our second row. So again, I'm going to tie off individually here. Great, and now I can go with my third colour. Now I'm thinking I might actually go back to white here. I'm tempted to do a white. I think I will. So get my white. Same process as before. Make a slip knot. And we're going to start in the top chain that we made at the beginning of the previous row. Pop our slip knot onto our hook. And we begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to do 3 double crochets into the gap between our chains and our double crochets. We're then going to work into the next gap between our sets of double crochets, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in here. Then we're back to our corner. So we're going to do our 3 double crochets. And then we chain 2. 3 more double crochets. And then we're moving on to the next gap. So we're just doing 3 double crochets in here. And then working into the gap between our last double crochet and second to last from the previous row, just here, we're doing 3 double crochets. And then we're going to do our last stitch into the top of the last stitch from our previous row. And then we can tie off. And that is essentially how we build our triangle. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to be doing a couple more rows of mine, but you get the gist of exactly what you need to be doing to get that triangle shape. Basically doing our double crochet into our chains into the same chain stitch from the previous row, 3 double crochets, and then into the next gap, 3 double crochets. In our corner, we're making sure we've got our 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets, which creates our point, and then we work down the other side. And that is essentially all there is to it. If this is something that you use for a project, I would really love to see the final results. It always brightens my day. I have an Instagram, which I will link to in the comments below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day.